All right, fam, I am going to make fat loss super duper simple because I am sick of all of the confusion out there. I'm going to break down the myths and I'm just going to make this super duper achievable and simple and realistic and understandable for you. So hopefully y'all can hear me okay with my headphones. Let me know if you can hear me okay because these are new and I want to make sure they're connected okay. Anyways, I'm going to make fat loss really simple because it's not as complicated as everyone thinks it has to be. Firstly, I'm going to break down a few of the myths. 1, no, just because you're a human being, you do not need to eat 1,200 calories to drop body fat. That is a stupid blanket statement that everyone believes that suddenly they want to lose weight, they have to drop down to 12,000 calories. No. So bust that myth out the door. Myth number 2, you don't have to cut carbs in order to drop fat. You don't have to cut out fats in order to drop fat. You don't have to cut out anything in order to drop fat. It does not matter what you eat, you just have to be in a calorie deficit. So we're going to stop cutting out foods. We're going to stop being like, this is the exact number that I have to hit. We're going to stop just using cardio and we're going to stop trying to use fat burner supplements and other medications and other shit. We're stop going to fasting. We're going to stop doing intermittent fasting. We're going to stop doing keto. We're going to stop doing carnivore. We're going to stop doing all the nonsense, all the different myths and bits and bobs. We're going to stop trying to not eat after 7 o'clock or only do HIIT cardio or only do normal cardio or, only go on the treadmill at this incline level and don't go any higher because any higher you're not going to, cut all that out. Blah, 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 blah. All of that is nonsense. This is how you really drop body fat. And I'm going to make it super duper simple. So step 1, if you want to lose body fat, you need to simply eat less food than your body expends. Simple as that. Step 1, super simple. Eat less food than your body expends. And in that way, your body hopefully is then going to dip into your stored energy, which is your body fat. That's all body fat is stored energy that you haven't used yet. So we want to encourage our body to tap into the stored body fat, break it down, turn it into glucose to be used as energy, so then you actually drop body fat. So if this is how many calories you need and this is how much you consume, your body needs to fill that gap in and it's going to try and tap into stored body fat. Now, if you are not eating high protein and if you are not resistance training, that gap is going to get filled up with a lot of muscle and a little bit of body fat. If you're doing high protein and you're going to the gym and lifting heavy weights, it's going to be more body fat and just a little bit of muscle. So that is why we do that. But simply put, if you just want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit, you need to be in that deficit, and then your body's going to take care of the rest. That is exactly how you drop weight. There's no ifs, buts, maybes. That is the law of thermodynamics. You cannot question it. It is like, why is the sky blue? It is like, why is water wet? It is like, why is 1 + 1 2? That is just the way that shit works. You cannot challenge the law of thermodynamics. But I will admit there's other levels of complexity to it that can affect the results, but that is at the very crux of it, exactly how you drop body fat. So step 1, be in a calorie deficit. That's the fundamental step 1. You need to fill that energy gap in. Your body's going to tap into stored energy. Now, if you want it to be from body fat and not muscle, you have to go and lift weights. That's it. You need to challenge your muscles. You need to give your body a reason to want to hold on to the muscle. Otherwise, your body's like, hey, this muscle ain't doing anything. Let's use this for energy because it's super easy to break down. So let's just do that. So if you are not lifting weights and trying to get stronger and pushing yourself, you will break down muscle and body fat. And we don't want that because that's when you start looking skinny fat, you're flappy, but also like you lose your independence as you get older, you're not strong, you feel weak, you have low energy, and it's really hard to maintain fat loss results when you don't have muscle built up. That's where you get stuck on these crazy, yucky, low calories. So building muscle, you have to do it. Essential for life, in my opinion. Just as essential as water, kind of. Sleep, water, lift weights. And eat high protein. So when we do resistance training, we're sending signals to our body that we need this muscle. Let's keep the muscle. And in order to keep it, we need to then fuel it so we have protein. And the protein is like the building blocks to a house, right? Can't build a house without bricks. So resistance training is like giving the workers the building template and saying, when you're resistance training, you're giving them that map on how to build a house, right? That's what doing training is. but you still need the resources to build the house. And so protein is the bricks, and resistance training is like the map on how to build a house, or the instructions to build a flat pack, for example. So if you don't have those two things, you're not going to be able to drop body fat effectively and keep it off. General rule of thumb, I'm going to make this super simple. Most ladies, generally speaking, 130 to 150 grams of protein per day. That is not physical weight of the food. That is how many grams of proteins in the nutrition. So like about 100 grams of chicken breast, you'll get about 25 to 30 grams of protein. For context, you know, when you have one of those protein yogurts, you're usually getting about 15 grams of protein. So it's not about the weight of the food, it's like how many grams of protein's in the thing. Started around 130 to 150 is usually a pretty damn good rule of thumb for everyone. Yes, there's like mathematics to work out the right amount for you, but it's a pretty good rule of thumb. Lift weights 3 times a week as a starting point. You can go push, pull, I don't really like that, I'm gonna take that back. You can go push, pull, lower. You could do full body, full body, full body. You could do upper, lower, full body. That's my preference on the split, because you want to be able to hit each muscle group twice a week. But I'm keeping it simple here. I'm starting to get too complicated with it. Lift weights, push yourself hard, eat high protein, be in a calorie deficit. Fundamental things. Now here's some more myths that you don't need to even worry about. The carb to fat ratio does not matter. If you don't like carbs, that's weird, but don't eat them. If you love carbs, don't cut them out. If you prefer to have a high fat diet, you feel better on it, have a high fat diet. If you feel better having a high carb diet, have a high carb diet. It doesn't fucking matter. The thing that matters is that you're in a calorie deficit, you're eating high protein, and you're doing resistance training. That's all that matters, literally. Does not matter. You could literally diet on broccoli and chicken and that's it. It would suck, but you could do it. You could also get toned eating just McDonald's. It would also suck because you wouldn't be able to eat very much of it because it's very calorie dense, so you can't eat a lot of it, but you could do it. It does not matter. You could literally lose weight eating only ice cream. You'll feel like shit and you won't hit your protein intake. I'll give it to you that, but you could do it because it's all about calories in versus calories. Like literally it is. I know there's other factors involved that affect how your body responds to it, but fundamentally it's about the calories. So like I recommend don't go any lower than 25% of your daily calories from your dietary fats, pardon me, just for health and hormone reasons. You know, mainly have the whole foods, sprinkle in the fun foods, hit your 2 and 5 with fruit and veggies, like focus on your fiber intake. There's more layers to it, but fundamentally, calorie deficit, eat your protein, and lift weights. Then it's like eat your fruit and veg because, you know, you need to eat whole foods. You're an adult. Even if you don't like it, toughen up, just do it. And drink your water because that's very important, and get some good sleep. So, you know, there's like 6 fundamental things, but they're all basic stuff of life. Like it's not that complicated. You don't need to go keto. You don't need to go carnivore. You don't need to try 1200 calories. You don't need to go 800 calories. You don't need to intermittent fast. You don't need supplements. I mean, there's supplements that help, but there's also some that are just bullshit that you don't need. You don't need fat burners. You don't need de-bloating drinks. Like, you don't need detox like drinks and shit. Like, that's what your body's there for. You have liver and kidneys for a reason. That is their job. They detox. You don't need detox supplements. You don't need this like fat burning protocol that means that I only eat between this date and this date, and I only have protein at this meal and then carbs at this meal, and then if I combine my fats with this molecule and then I go and do this X amount of cardio at this heart, like it's all bullshit. None of that matters. Just stick to the fundamentals, and that is the only way that you will truly get results because it's sustainable. If you do all this crazy shit, what's going to happen? Same as like, I'm sorry, but 75 hard I think is pretty stupid, because what are you going to do on day 76? What do you do when you finish your dieting phase if you're doing all these extreme things? Are you going to keep doing those extreme things for the rest of your life? No, it's not practical. You know, if you go, I'm cutting out all the carbs to lose weight, cool. What do you do when you start to bring the carbs back in? Your body just goes, ooh, awesome. And it just goes back to square one. You can't just implement all these weird and wonderful, crazy, stupid things and expect that you're going to maintain your results for life. Why not just stick to the fundamentals? Lift weights. Eat mostly whole foods. Have your fun foods so that you can have a realistic, balanced life. Eat your fruit and veg. Hit your protein. Drink your water. Go to sleep. like stress management tools, go for a walk, all the stuff that's just easy. If you do all of that, if you have the fundamentals of like weights, walking, water, sleep, fruit and veg, protein, fun foods, understanding calories, understand how to track your macros so that all you have to do then is like, I don't change any part of my life except the calories that I eat. If I want to diet or if I want to build, I just change the calories. I don't change anything else about my life except for maybe how much cardio I'm doing, how many steps I'm taking, and how many calories I'm eating. They're the 3 things that I just have to dial up or dial down based on your goal, but everything else is fundamental, and therefore you maintain your results for the rest of your life. And then if things don't go perfect, you just keep going and do the best you can. You don't go, oh, I'm not perfect, I go, fuck it. Oh, I'm not perfect, fuck it mode. Like, if you do this, that is also why you're not getting results. Keep it simple, keep it achievable for you, and you can actually tone up. You'll actually look like you go to the gym, you actually build muscle, you're actually going to live a really enjoyable life and not spend the rest of your life feeling like you're constantly dieting and then fucking up and then dieting and then fucking up. Like, you can just be like, cool, all right, so for the next 6 weeks, I am going to go into a calorie deficit. So I'm going to maybe, I'm going to maybe swap my rice for potato or my potato for pumpkin. I might swap my bananas for strawberries. I might, instead of having like 4 eggs, I might have 2 eggs and egg whites. I might get chicken breast instead of chicken thigh. There's like small swaps like that. So you're not changing the volume of food you're eating. You're just changing the calories that are in your foods. And in that way, you can easily diet without having to change your whole entire lifestyle. Therefore, when you're finished dieting, you just make those food swaps back up gradually with a proper reverse diet, and you can maintain your results for life. Sandra asked, do I have a macro planner? What do you mean by a macro planner? Like, just use MyFitnessPal to track your macros. I have a guide to teach you how to track your macros. I can definitely send that through to track your day. Yeah, use MyFitnessPal. Use an app. Don't use a piece of paper. It's way too complicated. Use MyFitnessPal. 100%. Just get the free version. Cronometer is really good too. I've just never used it. I only ever use MyFitnessPal. But if you DM me, message me like after this live about the how to track your macros guide, I'll send you a free guide on just to like teach you how to do it a little bit. I don't teach you how to use MyFitnessPal per se, but I do briefly. And then I'll teach you how to track your macros without it being super painful, because you also don't have to be sitting there going, oh, this is what I ate today, this is what I ate today. Like, you can make it take all day long to track your calories, but you totally don't have to. Instead, what you can do is you can just pre-plan the full day of eating and then use that to create your own meal plan. And when you understand foods, like I could do a full day of eating without tracking, because I've been doing it for so long. I know what my portions should be, but I'm in prep, so it's different. I'm not going to just eyeball it. I weigh everything to a T right now. But if I'm not in prep, I could easily do it without it, because you learn those skills. And tracking takes me about 30 seconds to just be like, bang, 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 that's what I'm going to have tomorrow. Yep, sick, done. So use it as a tool to pre-plan as well. MyFitnessPal, yeah. Message me after and I will send that to you. So, in conclusion, keep it simple. Stop trying to do all this weird, complicated stuff. I see it in my messages so often. People are like, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm like, cool. How's that going for you? And most of the time it's like, oh, it was good until I stopped doing it. And it's like, yeah, because it's not sustainable. Why not just try the sustainable approach? And people are like, oh, but I've tried everything. I'm like, yeah, you haven't. You haven't tried the sustainable approach, the one that you can just do for the rest of your life. The really unsexy, boring stuff. That's what you should do. So if you do want a guide on how to track your macros after all of that, just message me macros and I'll send the free guide to you. And hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.